The worst possible thing happened.
All of a sudden, I've got a mass rescue on my hands.
Oh, wow, they're under.
That really escalated the situation.
Hi, Vinny. Yeah, central to boys in the buggy. There's just to your south, there's a girl that just drifted right out off the main. Hand up.
Boo responds immediately. But it's very difficult to keep an eye on the woman in the wild conditions.
Boo's mister.
I got out the back and I was kind of baffled, like, where is this person gone? Because set to just come and jumbled everyone up. And I was actually pretty scared at that moment, thinking that I might have lost the person. And then they sort of just popped up. And then as soon as I paddled over, 3 or 4 people have grabbed my board.
As Boo focuses on getting the woman to shore, more swimmers are desperate for help.
Instantly then I was just like, someone else is going to have to come in. They're going to be taken straight out to sea in this rip for sure.
Chapo backs up as off-duty lifeguard Jackson abandons nipper training and joins him.
These two here.
In these conditions, reaching the swimmers is only half the job.
It couldn't have been worse timing actually. Probably the 3 biggest waves of the day came through Bondi and broke from one end to the other. I could just see this one wave just coming from right out the back and you could just tell it was going to cause some drama.
Oh my God.
We were right in the impact zone, so I kind of had to hurry up. Like, she wanted to catch her breath and just hold on to the board, but I knew we had to get out of the impact zone, otherwise it would have got nasty.
Boo and his patient cling to the board as it washes them to a nearby sandbank.
She needed help big time. She was exhausted. She would have just been grasping on for life at that stage.
You're here. Thank you.
Lucky the few waves washed us back on the bank. It wasn't the most perfect rescue, but we got pushed in enough and it got her in safely. Then Jacko and Chapo cleaned up the rest.
Chapo and Jackson also managed to get the remaining swimmers back in.
That man saved my life. It's as easy as that. Honestly, I really appreciate it. I honestly don't know what I would have done if you weren't there. I was gone.
Suddenly, there's a radio call to the Bondi Tower. A 2-year-old girl has drowned at Bronte.
They're doing CPR, 2-year-old. Get down there.
Freelance photographer Fergus Wolveridge shoots images of Australian beach life. He's about to witness one of the most confronting rescues lifeguards have ever conducted.
The reporter I was with called me back and I came running back down. She's like, oh, something's going on, in the water.
There's a little blob, like, swimming out. And then, so I turned around and everyone was sort of looking and I said, any strong swimmers? Go.
I've noticed all the other boys running around like crazy. And so something bad had happened.
And I heard the mum screaming, Noah.
It wasn't until I grabbed my board and I just seen just a tiny little body just behind the breakers. It turned out to be a little girl. Just as I saw her, she was trying, still going for it, up and down, head bobbing under the water. But not long after that, she just sort of flattened out and was underwater. And she was just like 5 or 6 metres from me underwater. It was heavy. By the time I got to her, she was blue, not breathing.
The distraught mother is on the shore. Mouse performs CPR on the girl's tiny body.
Yeah, I gave her two breaths. She just went from being blue and doing nothing to a little cough and a little eye flicker, and then she started crying, and then I started crying, and then we just had a little hug, and then we had to get her in.
Meanwhile, The girl's father is also rescued. He was close to drowning himself.
Yeah, make sure she's awake. Keep her awake, okay? Yeah, okay. Let's keep walking up to the car. Where's your husband? Because someone should be probably looking at him because he's taking some water too.
The tiny girl's name is Noah Kim. Her family are on holidays from Korea. Father June was underwater when he was rescued.
Your daughter should be okay? So, but you need to make sure someone looks at you and listens to your chest.
Noah will spend 2 days in intensive care at Sydney Children's Hospital.
This is how quick this stuff happens, you know. I mean, you can't tell people enough that, you know, you lose your feet and you're gone within seconds, you know. It's home with me because I've got a 2-year-old, so, you know, it's just that thought of not being able to get her back.
These guys did an amazing job. That definitely defies odds being a lifeguard. Just watching Mouse resus a 2-year-old child.
Another level. I was just lucky Bobby was here too.
Every single time someone jumps in the water that can't swim, it blows my mind. It completely astounds me that people put themselves in a situation where if you lose your feet, you're gonna die.
Initially, I went out for one person who was just outside of the flags. And I didn't even see these other 3 people, but they just crept in the corner of my eye.
There's a few splashes out there.
They were going under, they were drowning.
All 3 men are desperate to get on the rescue board.
Glick's already in the water with 3 patients, and then all of a sudden I spot another guy who's in just as much trouble nearby. This guy had absolutely no swimming ability, 0 to none.
But yet a 5th man is in trouble. He helped the others stay afloat, but is now struggling himself.
Yeah, can you go in?
Yeah, I can really go on puppy board.
Yeah, go. Whatever you got, go.
Panicking makes the situation more dangerous. Jethro tries to calm them. But as fear takes over, logic goes out the window.
It's hard enough managing 1 panic patient, but 3 patients, it's very challenging.
So you want to run down?
As soon as they start panicking,
They just slipped.
they just kind of sink.
Singlets is a full weapon. He's already heading in the water now.
You know that you're always going to be backed up in this job, no matter what.
Backup is closer than Glick realises, as a volunteer lifesaver joins the rescue.
One of you come here.
The situation is finally in hand. Then Glick decides on an unconventional rescue technique.
We caught a wave face to face. I just couldn't be bothered turning him around. So I was just asking him, like, what he had for lunch, how was your day, where are you going now, want to go for a coffee?
You just went from being absolutely fine to a mass rescue like that. Hectic.
Undeterred by the stormy conditions, the swimmers have little idea just how treacherous Bondi is today.
The water's like rapids, so it's gone from being relatively safe and okay to a bit of a situation on our hands.
Several people are now in trouble, but there are just 3 lifeguards on hand.
Originally, I thought I was just driving down to be an extra set of eyes at the flags, and all of a sudden I've got a mass rescue on my hands.
Will uses the megaphone to direct swimmers away from the rip.
Girls out the back, walk towards the flags, please.
Yet more people are being pulled from the shore by the rip, but Joel focuses on a mum cradling her young son.
You all right?
He's managed to get the mother and her son on board, who are frantically panicking. You can tell they just want to get in there, but he's had to then keep them on the board and try and get the two others who are in distress.
Go out for that one out the back. Just go.
As Noah backs up, one of the exhausted girls fights her way onto the board, leaving her friend out of reach.
I was really struggling to drag my way across to this girl and just try and grab her hand so I could pull her over. But she's just getting smashed by these waves in the back, and they keep pushing her under, and she did disappear for a second, and I was really worried. It was such a relief, get a visual on the patient.
Finally, Joel has everyone on his board.
I've got 4 people on my board. I've just got to do my best just to try and fight this rip and get across to that sandbank. If one of these girls came off, we were right in this rip and they'd just be gone.
Getting the 4 back to shore against that rip is difficult. Luckily, Joel's got the strength to do it.
Once we got there, it was a really good feeling, and they were all really, really relieved to be back on the sand.
Hats off to Joel for that one. That was impressive.
The swimmers, undeterred by terrible weather, are lucky to be alive.
They were super panicky when I got to them. They were sort of screaming for help. Yeah, it was pretty sticky there.
When I got the board, I had to make the quickest decision because there was 2 persons in the water. I seen one at the boogie board. I realized that the guy was in the most dangerous situation, so I went straight into that guy. I paddled as fast as I could. I put him on, and he started to say to me, "My wife, my wife, my wife." She's floating. As I stay calm, she can float.
If the woman can't swim and loses hold of the boogie board, the situation could quickly become a tragedy.
So as soon as I brought the man to the shore, I spun around and started paddling as fast as I could for his wife.
If anyone's ever been stuck in a rip, you get quite exhausted trying to fight against it. And as this guy got brought back to shore by Mario, he kind of collapses. You could physically see he was drained.
When I got back to the shore, I started reassuring them and asking if they swallow any water. They answered no, which was good.
It's okay, guys. All right, buddy. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We're here for this.
So the moment they hug each other, and they say to themselves, yes, we're still alive. That was so good for me because it just made me realize that we're here for this,
The man, a New Zealand tourist, and his wife, who's from Korea, are grateful to the new lifeguard, Mario from Italy.
Oh, my body's just got no energy left in it. That was intense.
Max thinks he's seen something in the water. But then it's gone. Whatever's there is obscured from view by the flag.
And then all of a sudden, the guy popped out from behind the flag, and I was like, wow, we really need to get this guy.
As I got closer, I realised, this guy's not good.
The man bounces off the bottom. Each wave costs Harrison vital seconds. As precious seconds tick away, the man barely has enough energy to keep his head up.
Yeah, you got him. But that's when I'd noticed that closer in there was another guy who was just in the same amount of trouble.
Another man has drifted into exactly the same spot. But from the tower, he's also hidden by the flag. Mario is unaware Harrison has a double rescue on his hands and needs backup.
I turned the board around and I tried to catch a wave in, but on the angle, so I could pass him and collect him on the way through. In my head, I thought it would go to plan. It didn't go to plan.
Chapo races to back up from the other end of the beach.
To me, they looked like they were in a lot of trouble.
Overshooting the second patient poses a new dilemma to Harrison. Who to help next?
I told the first guy to just don't let go. Really dangerous to go out and try and rescue someone with no equipment because they're going to see you afloat and they're just going to jump all over you. They don't care if they take you down with them.
Chapo battles the waves. In a panic, the man pushes Harrison underwater.
In that situation, Harrison was well in control of what he was doing. He just needed my help to do it more effectively. They were, you know, whether we say seconds, I'm not sure, but if we're not here, they drown.
Two men are caught in a rip.
I just noticed out of the corner of my eye that there was two swimmers in trouble.
I was very lucky that Chapo spotted that guy, especially in between all the clubbies going in and out, you know.
As the men continue to struggle, people around them remain oblivious.
I reckon about 100 people just paddled straight past him, eh?
People are just so interested in what they're doing that they won't notice people next to them in trouble, which is fine. It's just how it is, and that's why we have to be switched on. We can never rely on anybody else.
One of the men gets closer to shore, but his friend is going backwards.
Once I hit the water, I was paddling as hard as I could because I knew he was going under.
Finally, a local board paddler heads to the man.
When that lifesaver did notice him, it was a sigh of relief for me, and then the worst possible thing happened. That really escalated the situation.
Max is now the man's last hope.
This guy was really going under. I just had that tunnel vision and just get to him.
Oh, yeah, Maxie's got him.
By the time I got out to the guy, he'd lost all his energy and he was very close to drowning.
Well spotted by me.
If you can't give yourself a rap, who else is going to give you a rap, I suppose?
Izumiziki is on holiday from Japan.
Is he okay?
No. That's good.
I'm tired. Big wave. I can't swim.
I can't swim.
Two swimmers seen fighting the rip are facing a losing battle.
Wow, they're going to drown each other in a sec.
As I was getting closer to the two gentlemen, they were pushing off the bottom and sort of gasping for air.
Oh, wow, they're under.
So close.
I just had to reach down, one on each side, and grab onto whatever I could, try and get them up onto the board.
Okay, hold on to the board, not me.
He's grabbed one in each arm.
Very dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Against a surging rip, Whippet shows his experience.
Once you get 2-3 adult males on a board, the chance of rolling it is pretty good. So for me, I thought just get them to hold on to the side, I can hold on to them, and I knew if I angled the board right, we'd hit a sandbank sooner or later.
So when you go in, aim here. Thank you. We came from first time over here. We already went to a couple of beaches. There we don't find any problem, but today we came over there. So someone suddenly came and then he catches.
They were properly drowning. That was a good one. Double.
Yeah, they wouldn't have had long before they started sinking properly, those guys, and taking on water.